Yes guys, what's going on? Hashtag Shawrey here. Welcome back to another video on the channel. Finally, Jesus, took you long enough, mate. The long-awaited custom tactics are finally coming out, and it's after team of the season. Brilliant. Great, Alex. Brilliant. Now, I have done custom tactics videos this year, but I'm finally going to do an updated one for you guys. As you guys will see from the title, these custom tactics are from my 30-0 first in the world. Did I mention I got first in the world? Yes. It's only 1, 2, 3 videos on it now. Oh my god. But yeah, these are the tactics I used to get first in the world. And yeah, it's about time I shared some custom tactics with you guys. As you'll see here, well, this is actually from this weekend league. I did get another top 100 finish, so I'll be uploading them rewards on Thursday. I don't really know what's going on with them rewards, but we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, as I mentioned, from the last week, we finished first in the world, which is just absolutely sensational. That is the last time I'm going to try and say that this video. Probably not going to go very well, is it? But yeah, it's June. No more messing around. If you guys do find this video helpful, please drop a like and also subscribe to the channel and turn on that notification bell. Let's jump straight into the custom tactics. No messing around here. Okay, and into the custom tactics we go, guys. Now, to start off, this is the team that I've been using recently. I actually have, as well as you'll see in the corner, not a flex, 4.7 million coins, so there's a fair bit to spend, so I think I'm just going to upgrade that to Prime Moments, hull it, and then probably do some challenges or something for the next few weeks. Yeah, I'm trying to just build the God team. Obviously, this team is absolutely ridiculous, but I still think there's a lot of tactics in here, a lot of little tips for you guys that I think you can put into your game to definitely get you a few extra wins in Weekend League for sure. Right, so into the custom tactics we go. No messing around, as I've already said this video. Let's get into the first formation, which we have here, the 4-2-3-1, which is my defensive formation. Obviously, it's called defensive, but this is just the one that I will switch to normally. This is what I'll always switch to at the start of a game, no matter what the game is. So yeah, let's get into it. As you can see, straight off the bat, balanced. Now, what you'll notice with this one, this is my, obviously, like I said, my normal formation. This is a very, very balanced, just all round. I'm not just talking about the fact that it says balanced twice. Just as you can see, everything here, the width, the depth, everything is just sort of like in the middle. I want to just keep this formation very balanced, as you know, we're going to use that word a lot in this video, because I want to be in control of most of these things. Now, the reason I have the width on 6 defensively, I've just always been used to defending out wide, especially because people like to try and go down the line a lot. But like I said, like 6 depth really, is it much different to 5 or 4? Not really too much. So if that's 5-4 or whatever, or 6, I don't really think it makes too much difference. And for the 5 depth, like I said, it's just keeping everything as balanced as possible. You know, for example, like if you had it on 1 depth, you know, you do have your players really far back and you will feel quite defensive, but it does mean people can come at you quite a lot and, you know, get very high up on the pitch on you. Opposite to that, if you had 10 depth, you know, that would be on the kind of formations where, you know, you're looking to just get forward kind of thing. But yeah, like I said, this is a very balanced formation. We want it on 5 depth. This is the kind of thing I would advise for you guys, and we'll get into the instructions as well after this. But offensively, which is more important, 5 width. Now, I'm someone who likes to play out wide a lot in this game. I like to play out wide a lot, play balls down the line. But the thing is with the 5 width is that you can kind of control your players going out wide anyway, but you always want that option of being able to play in the middle as well. So yeah, we are going to say this is balanced again. Players in box 5. I don't want to be able to be exposed, and that's why on corners and free kicks as well, I only have it on 2, because I don't want to be massively exposed to a counter attack. That's one of the reasons in this game that I concede a lot of goals, and I'm sure you guys will be the same. Counter attacks, sometimes you don't want to just leave yourself exposed on a counter attack, so that's why this is all extremely balanced. So yeah, not too much to talk about sort of that part of the custom tactics on the defensive one. The other formations that I'll get into, my attacking ones and defensive ones, there'll be more to sort of talk about in them. And then for the player instructions on my sort of normal formation, the 4-2-3-1, the strikers and the wingers, I just have them on very normal. Just absolutely, I don't touch them. I just leave them on balanced, on basic, or whatever. I want to just leave them to it for me to sort of control them, for me to control their runs. So for example, some people might have on a striker getting behind. I just like to control it myself, and I would advise that for you guys as well, trying to control it yourself, because getting behind, sometimes you don't want them getting in behind too much, because for example, when you're trying to pass it into your striker and you want them to turn and shoot, if they've already tried to get in behind you, they're offside or they're not an option anymore. You know, you want to be able to trigger it yourself. But for the CDM, so I put 1 on stay back while attacking, and I put 1 on balance attack. Now this is something I'm kind of experimenting, which I have been enjoying more, as Kevin De Bruyne getting forward, for example, with that 5-star weak foot is a great option in the box to shoot with. And I have them both on cover center. Now this is something that is personal preference, because obviously there's cover wing as well, but I put them both on cover center for now, because, you know, that is the way you concede most in this game. Someone having the ball with their cams, you know, trying to pass it around sort of the final third area and get it into his striker, turn, shoot. That is the main way of scoring in FIFA 20, if we're being real. You know, it's not like FIFA 19 where you could just cross it to the back post or volley it from outside the box. So that's why it's good to have these on cover center, to make sure you've got your CDMs in front, in the middle. And then if someone does decide to go out wide on you, you know, you can manually control your players to run out wide to them. And then for the fullbacks, I have them on stay back while attacking, because like I said, this is another thing. You can manually control your fullbacks to go forward. However, if your fullbacks are on balance attack, sometimes they'll just start darting up the pitch. And then if you do get counter attack, which I said is a main thing you want to avoid in this game, you are absolutely exposed, which is not ideal for being real. So that's my normal formation covered there, guys. So now I'm going to show you guys some of the stuff that I tend to switch to if I'm maybe losing in a game, if I'm winning in a game late and I want to hold out a result. But yeah, as I mentioned with that whole formation, extremely balanced, and you kind of want to be in control of things all on your own. Now next we'll switch to my ultra defensive. Now I won't talk about this one too much. We'll move on from this pretty quick. A lot of this is very similar to the one I just showed. It's just a bit more defensive. Now this would be if I was in a pro game or something, or even like a weekend league game, and I'm coming to the end of the game, I'm maybe a goal up and I can just feel myself getting battered or something. It can happen sometimes. It can happen in a game where someone's just playing well against you and all of a sudden like your press isn't working as well or something. Now here a lot of people would want to put drop back, and I would understand why you guys would want to do that, but like I said, sometimes I don't want my team going too far back to the point where I'm literally just letting somebody attack and then giving them a chance to just make a great chance. Obviously you'd have a lot of players back, but it means they just have so much time and space in the midfield to kind of just decide what they want to do or how they want to attack. So I just leave that on balance. But yeah, the depth is a bit lower, as you guys will see, the defensive depth and the defensive width, having players basically quite compact. And the same goes for this. I don't want players in the box. I don't want players going up for corners, not when I'm trying to hold out a result. And then to move on to the instructions for this formation, I've basically got comeback on everybody. At the two CDMs, I've got stay back while attacking and then cover center. Like as I mentioned before, we want them on cover center, not on cover wing. And yeah, everybody, including the cams and the striker, is all on comeback on defense. This is basically just a formation that's saying, please don't lose. Brilliant. But yeah, you guys get what I'm saying. Comeback on defense is obviously quite a good thing, but I would not advise it for a whole game. Definitely not. If you win in 1-0 in the 15th minute, for example, I would not advise switching to comeback on defense because your team will be very far back and you'll find it harder to attack kind of thing. I would say it can work in some types of formations, but yeah, obviously, it's personal preference. Obviously, we are a little bit into the video here, guys, but the one thing I definitely want to stress is that everything I do or whatever, or all of my tactics, it doesn't necessarily mean it'll work for you guys. I'm just trying to give you guys a few tips on what I would advise is the best thing personally that I've found to use in the game. So yeah, that is my ultra defensive one. As I said, not too much to talk about that. It's kind of just getting a few players to come back if you're trying to hold out a result, but I definitely would not advise them kind of tactics all game long. Right, now onto a more attacking formation. Now guys, this is something I'll switch to if I go in a champs game or even in a pro game and I go 1 or 2 goals down, whether it's early or whether it's later in the game where I've tried to use my normal formation and things just haven't really worked, and that'll happen sometimes, guys. You've got to realize sometimes it will happen in games where your formation is just being countered by theirs, and you just want to switch it up. This is one of the main things that I switch it up to. So as I mentioned, both of them other formations were 4-2-3-1, a very balanced, normal formation to use in the game. It's one of the most popular used. And this again is another one. This is a 4-2-2-2, but it's more attacking. You've got the 2 cams out wide and you've got the 2 strikers. So this is almost like a 4-4-2, but it's like the cams are just further pushed forward and the CDMs are a little bit further back. But yeah, now defensive style, press after possession loss is something that's very, very important in this particular custom tactic. Now this means every time that you lose the ball and their defense get it and they start switching it from fullback to fullback, your team is going to press on them, as it says in the dynamic picture down at the bottom there. Now this is good for sort of choking someone out, not letting them out of a press. And obviously the problem with stuff like this is that people can eventually get out of it, and if someone does get out of a press like this, you have to make sure that you switched on defensively because you can be quite exposed quite quick. But the aim is to kind of trap them in. Now the aim with the 6 width and 6 depth here is we're basically just trying to press on the opponent a bit more here, but not too aggressively. That's why I've not put the depth up to like sort of 10. That's for if you are really, really going for a game. But here I'm just looking to change my formation up and get a few more goals in, and that's why with the offensive style I've still kept that on balance. The next formation I'll show you guys, which is something that is very interesting, has a different offensive style. However, I just like to keep this one on balance because this is still a formation that I'm quite comfortable with using. We've got 6 width here as well. As I mentioned, getting out wide is quite important in this game. Well, in my eyes, it's something I found very important. Sort of having the ball with my right back or my left back and playing a long through ball up to my winger, and then you can almost be in behind sometimes if you time them balls correctly. Plays in the box up to 6, and then the corners and free kicks. Like I said, this is not an absolute blowout formation. I'm not trying to here just commit to the fact that I'm just going to concede goals regardless. This is still a formation which I'm feeling quite comfortable to defend on, but I feel like it just gives me something different in the attack, especially with the 2 strikers. But yeah, with this particular attacking formation, the main difference with this is definitely the press after possession loss. As you'll see, the sort of the width, the depth, the width of the offensive style isn't really too much different to my normal formation that I'd play on. But yeah, it's the press after possession loss that I would definitely advise you guys giving a go. But like I said, you do have to be very careful about the fact that your players are going to do quite an instant little press. It's like a mini constant pressure, but then once they get out of it, your team will sort of defend quite normally again. And the instructions for this one are quite similar as well, to be honest. Again, I don't have getting behind on my strikers because I kind of want to control that myself using LB. LB or L1 is what you want to use to trigger a run, so if you've got the ball at a cam position and you want your striker to get in behind, press it L1 or LB yourself will put your striker in behind. I'm sure a lot of you guys will have known that, but a lot of you guys might not. CDMs again. Now the CDMs here are both on balanced attack. Here is basically I'm saying I kind of want my CMs to push up a little bit and help out, which again can leave you quite exposed. So you do have to realize there can be a little bit of a risk with this kind of thing. But if it pays off, obviously it means, you know, you've got your 2 CMs helping you out in the attack. Both on cover center though still, because we do want to still be able to defend a bit. And then for the right back and the left back, we also have them on stay back while attacking too. But the 2 cams and the 2 strikers are both just unbalanced again. But yeah, like I said, guys, this is another formation. 4-2-2. It's a better attacking formation in my opinion than 4-2-3-1. But 4-2-3-1's a lot more balanced. So these are 2 formations I definitely advise you guys trying out. And yeah, that's it for the 4-2-2. So that's my attacking formation that I'll normally switch to. Now this one, guys, the final formation I'm going to show you guys is something a bit different. And this is kind of a going for it formation. Now I have to give a shout out to Tex on this one, as Tex kind of helped me with this one, especially when I was playing a Foothead Cup to try and get back into a game. And he told me to switch to this kind of similar tactic. And to start off with, we're going to be using the 4-4-2. Now the main difference you'll see with this, as I mentioned previously, is the offensive style. And we're going to be using long ball. Now as you can see by the dynamic sort of picture below, long ball basically means your players are going to kind of get in behind or really out wide, you know, stretch your opponent kind of thing. So for example, if something's not on one side of the pitch, all of a sudden you can look up and one side of the pitch could be completely open. You can have a player out wide completely free. Now, especially if you're playing against someone who's playing really defensively and they've put their defensive width very low, you know, sort of maybe a 3 or even below a 3. And people will definitely do that when they're trying to defend against you because they want their team to be compact. You give yourself the chance to, you know, switch it and definitely try and get in behind the opponent. And 4-4-2 is also a very common and very well used formation over all the FIFAs. You know, it's always been a very balanced formation. But yeah, on this as well, we've got the press after possession loss yet again. The width gone up again a bit, the depth gone up a bit again. We're looking to try and come at the opponent on this one. This one is a bit of a YOLO situation, if you guys know what I'm saying. But yeah, the main thing about this is the long ball. Now, we've got the attacking width up as well. We just want our players out wide quite a bit. You know, I'm not put it on 10 because I don't want it nothing too stupid, but the player in box, again, we're at a 7 for that as well. And then the corners and free kicks, basically everyone's just going, run, fire away at the opponent. Don't really know what that was, to be honest. But yeah, the long ball is definitely a little trump card that I would advise for you guys to try out for sure. Now, for the player instructions on this, I've got both the CMs on cover center. Again, we want them covering the center. I don't want them covering out wide too much, as I can kind of do that manually myself. Fullback still on stay back while attacking because, like I said, I can choose to put the fullbacks forward. But everyone else, like here, the player instructions aren't too important for me. I have them on quite balanced, other than, you know, if I was doing a defensive one, like I mentioned at the start, and I'd put players on comeback on defense. But with this, like I said, the player instructions are very sort of balanced, other than the CMs and the 2 right back and the left back. But yeah, it's the press after possession loss, which is really something I'm trying to stress in this video because I do find it works very well, guys. And then the long ball. Now, there's obviously other stuff you can try. For example, constant pressure. I don't know if I'd advise that too much because you can just put team press on, which does the exact same thing. Drop back, obviously that's a completely different conversation. But then pressure on heavy touch. Now, I know this is another one people like to try, and pressure on heavy touch is definitely a good one. I've definitely struggled against it sometimes. But that's another one where if you're able to pick your passes and get out of it, you know, you've got a very good counter attack on kind of thing. But yeah, I know it's June, but I hope you guys found that quite informative. That is my 4 formation. So as I said, 4-2-3-1 with kind of a more defensive, you know, line. Then 4-2-3-1 on my defensive, which is just my normal standard formation. We've got a 4-2-2, press after possession loss kind of thing, but still relatively balanced. And then a 4-4-2, just kind of go for it, long ball, absolute carnage. Now, I would tell you, my guys, my camera angle and my controller settings as well, but I can basically go through that in about 2 seconds. I use telebroadcast, and my controller settings are absolute classic, and I don't change anything. So that's that out of the way. Wow, I actually did something quick for once. But yeah, hopefully I've explained that to you guys quite well. I would advise trying some of them formations out, guys, and let me know down in the comments if you find any of them helpful for you guys in Weekend League. Now, I'm aware we are in late June, but hopefully you guys still found this video informative and helpful for you guys to hopefully get a few extra wins in Foot Champs. Obviously, I'm aware my team's a bit of a joke, but I still think there's a lot of things in here that you guys could potentially use to get yourself some more wins. And yeah, just for a little tip towards Foot Champions as well, that I get asked a lot in my Twitch streams. A lot of it is the mental side, guys. You know, if you're playing Foot Champions and you're like playing too many games in a row and you can feel yourself playing worse, the best thing you can do, genuinely, is just get offline and wait till you come back on where you feel confident to play again, rather than just being like, oh, I just want to force my games out myself, because that will mean you're not playing your best FIFA. Tactics are great and tactics will help you. Specific tactics are better for some people than the others, and as I mentioned, these tactics might not all be the best for you, but I would advise trying them. But yeah, that's what I just wanted to say. Another thing is definitely the mental side. Make sure that you're going into each game happy to play it and try not to get too frustrated at the game, and I promise you will see better results. But yeah, hopefully you guys did enjoy this first in the world 30, you know, custom tactics, and you did find it helpful. If so, guys, be sure to drop a like on the video and also subscribe to the channel and turn on that notification bell. I'll be uploading another set of top 100 rewards on Thursday. Now, I'm not really too sure what's going on with the rewards now team of the season is finished. However, we'll just have to wait and see, and we'll just have fun with a June pack opening. But yeah, thank you very much again for watching, guys, and until the next one, don't forget to hashtag it.